Hey guys, this is a side channel. Uh, I'll probably release what my main is in about a week or so, but if anyone guesses before then, they'll get a shout out, I guess. So today I'm gonna be critiquing animation memes, not making cringe compilations, because I don't believe we should be bashing on people's art to a sense of calling it cringy. Some of it is a little hard to watch, but I don't like the idea of discouraging them, and I think it'll help to give some criticism, so that's what I'm gonna be doing. Your editing is really nice, and for the most part the character's design is not bad on the eyes at all. I would have to say that it would be nice if there was a bit more animation put into it. The animation that is in it seems to bounce around a little in a sense, and though that may be the effect you were going for, it does look a little choppy. On top of that, this is something I'm always gonna say to flip a clip artists, especially ones with as much potential as you. You've got very nice editing and an obvious great understanding of color. The best thing I can suggest is please save up for a computer. Flip-a-Clip is not a bad program to use, but you're not going to get anywhere in the professional world with it, and I don't know if professional is what you're going for, but if people are paying you for animations, they're not going to accept it off Flip-a-Clip. Another thing I want to note on is you can see the little thumbnail of the audio in the corner, which is a pet peeve of mine. Since you've obviously edited this together, putting those frames on top, I'm sure it wouldn't be too much to ask that you edit the audio over the final video so that we don't see that little bubble in the corner and so that the audio quality is better. Other than that, I'd say it's pretty good.
Dirty mind, dirty mind, dirty mind, dirty mind, dirty mind. She just wants to fuck.
Can I just mention this song gets stuck in my head every single time I hear it? Okay, so my main critique is there isn't much animation in it, and by not much, I mean there really isn't animation in it. It's looks like it might be Flip-a-Clip, but I can't tell for sure, because if it is, you've either paid for the program or zoomed it in, which is good. Trust me, no thumbnail thing is really good. And obviously you're not frame sliding either, and there's no audio bubble in the corner, so I give a ton of credit for that. But it's not animated, it's just a couple frames that you sort of slid across the screen. The anatomy's a little wonky. For example, at one part it kind of looks like, lack of a better word, kind of looks like her boobs are moving onto her neck, which looks a little weird, and their shoulders aren't very defined. The arms are a little short too. In general, I think you would benefit a lot from looking at a human counterpart for anatomy referencing. But in general, this actually isn't that bad. I'd like to see you put more animation in it and less just frames. This one isn't awful by any extent. As I said with the last one, there's not much of any animation in it. And the one character that, is only there for one frame, the brown one, looks a little funky. The colors don't go very well together. If anything, I would mostly say to work on your anatomy a bit. You seem to have the right idea going on. At one point, it kind of looks like the character's head is about to get ripped off, like there's a big hole in the side of its neck. But it really isn't that bad. Your anatomy isn't awful. I like how you draw heads and faces, but the bodies and maybe the placement of the faces could use a bit of work. I really like this one, actually. I could not give you enough credit for doing so much frame by frame. It does look a little choppy in places, but it's really obvious that you're putting in effort, and honestly, that's one of the most commemorable things of all time when it comes to animation memes. Now, you can see if you pause it that the coloring is a little rocky, and you can especially see it at the part where it's flashing between the white silhouettes, is that it's incredibly rocky. It might be because you're either drawing on paint or more likely flip a clip. It looks like it could be flip a clip, but I have no way of knowing for sure. I think the thing you benefit from the most is maybe a bit of anatomy practice. It's not awful, and it looks like it could just be a style thing, but maybe a bit of practice wouldn't hurt. As well as this, I think the thing you could benefit from the most is a bit more practice with in-betweens, because your animation is like in between really, really good and just like good. It's like on its way to being really, really, really good. And I think just a bit more practice with the in-betweens would definitely help.
Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Shake it, girl. Just a wiggle, 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 wiggle. Now make it.
Okay, your anatomy is really nice, and while it only seems to be 3 to 4 frames, the animation isn't horribly done. It's pretty smooth. And looking back on it, I'm pretty sure it's only 3 frames. My biggest complaint is it's incredibly boring. There's not a lot happening at all. It's just wiggling a bit, and though it's only an 18-second video, it gets very tiring very fast. So I would recommend having something else going on, be it something in the background, or maybe the character's actually moving with its body movement. Your head never stays perfectly still when you're moving, which is something I'm kind of bad for in animation, but I've been learning it more and more. I would just recommend looking a bit more into having more go on, but your anatomy itself is really nice, and you seem to have a good idea of how to draw in general. Okay, that's all I'm doing for tonight because I'm looking at my recording. It's already 6 minutes long. I ramble too much. Once again, if you find out what my main is before the week ends, I will give you a shout out. See you guys next time I decide to do something like this.